Hey guys, it's Sasan Sarui from Los Angeles, and today I want to talk to you about how to handle negative reviews. All business owners hate negative reviews, and for good reason. They hurt the bottom line. We all know that consumers look at reviews before they decide if they're going to do business with a particular company. As a matter of fact, I have some new stats that I want to share with you. 92% of customers read online reviews now. That's up from 88% back in 2014. Star rating is the number one factor used by consumers to judge a business. 68% of consumers say positive reviews make them trust a local business more. 86% of people say they will hesitate to do business with a company that has bad reviews. And 88% of online shoppers take reviews into consideration when shopping. So we've all heard that when you get a negative review as a business owner, it's important to respond quickly to it. But what does that really mean? How do you respond to it? What are some of the best practices? And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share some of the successful practices that we've done over the years to help our clients overcome negative reviews and turn them into a positive. So let me start by saying that negative reviews are not necessarily a bad thing for a business. A lot of times, those negative reviews point to problems that need to be addressed within the operational system, the workflow, the policy of a business. Especially if multiple customers have complained about the same thing, then there's probably some truth to it, and you should look at it pretty carefully and see if you should improve that area. I'll give you an example. I had a client not too long ago that was complaining that she had received a couple of reviews that people had said, this one reviewer said that their return and refund policy was in the fine print. And she went on one of these review sites and says, yeah, this company has very strict policy and they have it hidden so you don't see it. And so my client says, you know what, it's not in fine print, it's in regular type, it's on the policy page, on the return and refund page, it's on my FAQs page, on top of the FAQs page, talks to them about return and refund. And it's also during checkout, the customers have to agree to the return and refund policy. So in her view, it was not hidden at all. It was, in plain view. But we saw other customers had actually brought up the same point. So it was an opportunity to improve a process. And what we did was we took that abbreviated version of the refund policy and we placed it right on the product page. So now as customers are browsing the site and looking at various products, there's the product description and there's another tab that says return and refund policy. So a lot of times, these reviews, people don't just take their time to go leave a bad review just because they want to, do wrong by you. They had a bad experience and they're sharing it, and you should really consider what they're saying. And you learn a lot and you improve your business as you get these reviews. So, but today we're going to talk about the ones that even if it's constructive, you still got to respond to them. And we're going to talk about what are some of the best practices on doing that. Okay, the first thing to do, and this is kind of obvious, is to make sure you get notified when a review is posted about your business. A lot of people don't even know. We've had clients that come to us, and when we first start on their account, we check their reviews, and they've had bad reviews from a year or two ago, and they didn't even know about it. So the thing to do is to go to Google My Business, which is google.com/business, and make sure your email address is correct, and make sure review notifications is turned on. It's not necessarily turned on. You can turn it on or off, so you got to make sure it's on. Also, in other places, on Facebook, on Yelp, Foursquare, wherever your business is listed, you want to make sure your email address is correct, and it's always going to the same email address, one that you're checking. So that's kind of an obvious one. There's another way that you can check is to set up some alerts. if they don't necessarily, if you can't get that email, for instance, you can have an alert that wherever the review is posted, even on sites where you don't have presence, people might leave you reviews. There's plenty of sites where you don't know about. They can leave you reviews. So you can set up an alert. One place you can do that is on Google Alerts. You can go there and type your business. Like in my case, I would type Navazon plus reviews. And now, Google, as it's searching, if it finds a new instance of that, a new mention of the keywords that I put in, it sends me an alert. So I'll be notified if there's a review about my business. I can also set it up for any for my name, like Sasan Sarui Reviews. Or if you have a product that's your own product that you've developed or manufactured, you want to see reviews about that product, you would put the product name plus reviews. So Google Alerts is an easy, free one. There's another free one called Social Mention that you can go and you can, again, put in your brand name, and it tells you any mentions of your business on either on the web or on social media sites. They have an API. We actually developed a piece of software based on their technology a long time ago, and it works well. Social Mention is also free. There is one called Tracker, and I'll put a link down in the comment section. It's TRAC, spells TRACKUR. It's a good tool that also monitors any social mentions, and also it tags them it gives it a sentiment tag. So it tells you if it's negative, positive, or neutral. Social Mention also gives it they also have sentiment tags. So Tracker charges $97 per month to do this. It's worth it if you can afford to do that. It's a good service. They've been around for a long time. When I started using them, they were only at $18 a month. So the software has been developed and is mature now. So those are some good ways of setting up some automated. There's a ton of other companies that do this. They have control panels where they aggregate reviews from all the different review sites into one nice control panel for you, and they allow you to actually respond to those reviews right there from the control panel, and they distribute it back to wherever the review came from. So that's pretty convenient. So there are companies like that. Your other option is to hire a third-party company, like our company, Navazon, that would do that for you, especially if you're a larger brand, or if you're managing multiple brands. Then this can become a bit of a task to continuously be monitoring and responding. So there are other third-party companies out there that do a good job. And what we do is we do the same thing that I'm describing today. We set up all these alerts, and when we get notified, our team members go on there, check it. They either respond to it on the customer's behalf, as per our agreement with the customer, or if it's negative, we might escalate it back to them, to the customer service manager, or alert them that, hey, there's a negative review, we need to respond to it, and we work with them to respond to it. So getting notified, kind of obvious, but it just needs to get done. So now after you're notified and you see it, and if it is a negative review, first thing we do is to make sure that the customer has the right company, that they are in fact talking about our company or our client's company. With so many businesses on the web with similar names doing the same type of things, it happens once in a while that the customer does business with company A, but while they were shopping around, they looked at 3 or 4 different companies. They come back, they do a search and leave a review for company B by mistake. So we start off by making sure the customer was our customer, look in the database, and see if they have a transaction number, invoice number, sales order number, or something, and make sure that it's our customer. If it's not our customer, we go back to the review site and we dispute it. Say, hey, this is not our review. You need to take it down, or provide proof that this was in fact our customer, a receipt of some sort. So that's step one. And when you have a bad review, best bet is to get the review down rather than respond to it. Obviously, we're going to do everything you can to get the review removed. And if you absolutely cannot get it removed, then we'll start to respond to it publicly. So we'll talk about that. So now let's say we got the review. It is about our company, and we need to respond to it. So the first thing we do is we go get all the facts. We read the customer's review very carefully, make notes of all the specific things that they mentioned, whether negative or positive. Sometimes these reviews are mixed. They say, I was happy with, processes A, B, and C, but I really hated, these other processes. So we make notes of all of those. We go back and check the company records, any emails, any phone logs, any tickets in the ticketing system, and what happened with this customer, and where do we fail, or was it a miscommunication, and we get our facts straight. And once we get our facts straight, we first contact the customer. Now, in my experience, if you can get on the phone with the customer, that's the best, because people are nicer over the phone. They're talking to you, it's interactive, they are, more polite. Where on email, they just let it rip. So, if they're upset, they just, they don't care. So phone calls, it's maybe a little bit more difficult. You don't want to talk to a pissed off customer, but trust me, you're going to have a different experience usually when they see you call and you're a person of authority. Like when we call them and say, hey, I'm the customer service manager, or I'm the business owner, and I'm really sorry this happened to you, and I'm calling you to fix it. Now, they're not, you disarm them by just doing that. So they're not going to be, super mad in most cases. And, you can work it out with them, and you can appeal to them person to person. So that usually works best. The problem is a lot of times the customer won't pick up the call because they know it's you, and they've kind of feel bad possibly about leaving you a negative review, so they don't want to talk to anybody. So if you can't talk to them, then you try to take the conversation to private channel, like email. If you have their email address, send them an email. If you don't have an email address, it's a Yelp review about a restaurant, let's say. You can go on on Yelp and say, hey, I'm really sorry this happened to you. Please email me at this address, or call me, call the restaurant, ask for Sasan, and I'll talk to you, and I'll make this right by you. First thing to do when you call them or you email them is to acknowledge all the points they made, and say, I'm really sorry you came in and you weren't happy with the receptionist, and your order was delayed, or you waited too long, whatever it was that they mentioned. We bring it up so they know that they're being heard, and we apologize for it. If it's in fact true, then you apologize for it, and authentically, not I'm sorry you feel this way. No, I'm sorry we did this to you. Authentically, from the bottom of your heart, as a good person, you apologize for what you did if you did something wrong, and you tell them, hey, I'm here to make it better. Then it's it's a negotiation, of course, but it helps if you give them something, offer something. That's always helpful. A lot of times these things are about money, like they didn't refund me the full amount, or I wanted my money back, they said no. Whatever it is, our recommendation to our clients usually is, if you can do the refund, do it. If you're talking $50, $100, obviously if it's thousands of dollars, it's a different story. But if it's not a big deal, do the refund, take the hit. It's better to refund it than to take the hit on the public forum for years to come. So you may not agree with this on principle, but it's a business decision. You need to make your own decision. That's what we usually recommend, especially if the customer was right on what they're complaining about. Okay, so how do you deal with haters? We've seen people that come out and just lie about the business with the intention to harm. We had one instance where the competitor was leaving bad reviews on our client side. We were able to prove that it was the person who left the bad review was employed by the competitor, and that's how we were able to have the review removed. In other cases, we've seen bad reviews used for blackmail, to blackmail a company to giving them things, or we've seen just fraud, out and out fraud. So in these cases, it's best to let an attorney handle it. They can send a letter. If you have an attorney or an attorney friend, you can get them to write a letter to cease and desist, to remove the libel, defamation of the business. So, attorneys know how to handle it. We've had some success with attorneys writing letters and getting these reviews removed. It's your business, it's your livelihood. You have the right to defend yourself. So I suggest that if you think you are in that situation, definitely consult an attorney and get the review off. Okay, so write about facts only. Stay away from any emotional involvement, no matter how rude they've been to you or to your staff. Don't call them that this customer is difficult to deal with or customer was rude. If at all possible, stay away from that. Just be very specific with your facts and figures, and mention how many times you contacted them, you tried to make this right, any communication. So you're making a public case for your company, and you want to show that you're, a professional company and a person, and the person behind the company. So you want to do that, and you want to be brief, not super brief, where you just, put the listing. It still has to be personable, but don't go on for page after page of explanations and how it affected everything. So not personal, but nice and authentic and brief and factual, and that's about it. Just keep it simple, and remember, you're not just writing to that person, you're writing to everybody else. Then what we like to do is check it for tone, especially if the business owner, who might be a little bit emotionally attached, writes it. We check it for tone. Have somebody else read it, your spouse, a friend, an employee. Have somebody else read it to make sure you're coming across as, positive and caring and professional. And then just post it. And when you post it, they're gonna receive a notification that there's been a rebuttal to your review, so they, get the chance to post again. So you may go back and forth a few rounds, but at least you've posted something. Now you undo a lot of the damage that's done by a negative review by stating other facts. A lot of times people who leave negative review, if they were at fault, they leave those things out. So in your response, you want to reveal any facts that were not revealed by the customer, so that other people see you're, fighting in the court of public opinion. So you want to make a good case for your company without looking like you're attacking the customer or you're this super aggressive person that nobody wants to do business with. So you want to come across as, nice, loving, caring person. One other thing that I want to talk about is, and it came up recently, is the question of what do you do about old negative reviews that you might have, that you might not have seen, or maybe you bought the business from someone and the existing company, the previous ownership or management had some negative reviews. Do you respond to those? And so that question came up a few weeks ago, and we said, yes, definitely you respond to those. And if you have bought the business, you respond by saying, hey, we're under new management and everything is different. We have new staff, new policies, so come in and give us another chance, and we think you're going to like it. If it's still, your business, I would respond back, especially if it's been in the past year. I would definitely go back a year and respond back. And, again, you're responding a year later, so that looks kind of off. So you got to, be authentic and say, hey, I'm sorry, I just saw this. I know it's a year has passed, but, I'm sorry this happened to you. We're still here. possibly we've changed our policies, we no longer do that, or the person you're complaining about is no longer with the company, or whatever. You still respond to it as if it's a new review, because again, you're responding not just to that person, but to everybody else who's reading the review. Okay, so in conclusion, let's recap. We said the first thing to do is to make sure you get notified. Your email address is correct, notifications are enabled, you're using a system, so you get notified. Second, make sure it's about you. If it's not, ask the reviewing company, the publishing company, to remove the review. If it is about you, try to contact the customer directly, one-on-one, offer them your apology, offer them some sort of something for free, something to make up for, how you wronged them or your company wronged them, or at least they feel that way. So, trying to make them happy, and in exchange for them to take down the review, you don't want to just give it to them and be done. No, you say that, hey, people know that these reviews hurt. So you're saying, hey, this review is not fair, it's not accurate, or it's not 100% accurate, and I'm here to make it better, and I'm willing to give you a refund or offer you a free whatever, and in exchange for you taking down the review. So your best bet is get the review taken down altogether. If you cannot get it taken down, or the other thing is they might actually go and change it. They can modify it, take out some of the harsher things, change the star rating from a 1 to a 3. They might not give you 5, but they'll bump it up to 3. If you cannot get a hold of them, to respond publicly in a professional, caring manner, so that other people see what a wonderful professional person you are and what a great company it is, and they have nothing to worry about. They can do business with you. People do understand that not every business, not every transaction in the business is going to be perfect all the time. You read reviews, you see how you think, what the chatter, the dialogue is in your mind as you're reading reviews. You see 10 good reviews, 1 not so good, so you can't make everybody happy, and people understand that. One thing that I want to also finish with is, while you're responding, when you're there on the review site, you'll see positive reviews. Those are the ones you definitely want to respond to. You want to thank them, and ask them to share with their friends. These are your best fans. The people who leave a good review, they're likely going to come back to your establishment or do business with you again. So you don't want to take them for granted. I'm going to do another blog on how to leverage positive reviews for your marketing and promotion. It's word of mouth. It's electronic word of mouth, and it has tremendous value for online business, especially for local businesses, for both. And there are ways we can leverage that, and that'll be on the next video. So I hope you like this. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to do more videos that are helpful, hopefully, to small business owners or medium-sized business owners on everyday things that we face and we have to handle. So I'm going to do those videos. Subscribe so you get notification. I'll have a link down below to a blog post about the same thing with some of those stats, and if you want to forward it to somebody, that might be easier rather than the video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you next time. Bye.